god. The tears are literally coming. It needs to stop. It needs to stop immediately. There's like nothing that I'm even that sad about. And yeah, I'm just breaking down. I'm like, my life's pretty good.
This is what I live for.
Hi, sisters. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Zach, and today I will be your host on this beautiful journey that we are going to be taking called a healing journey. No, honestly guys, I really want to make a video on how to heal and about manifestation in regards to healing, because I feel like a lot of times we try to focus on manifesting and we try to focus on attracting the life of our dreams, but we aren't actually even dealing with the subconscious trauma and resistance that we have in the background. So we can't actually even allow open energy to flow into our lives to attracting these new blessings and desires, because the old stagnant energy is still blocking us from receiving these blessings. You do not need to be perfect in order to manifest. In fact, I have manifested about everything that I had desired roughly about 3 years ago now at this point in my current life, and I am not perfect by any means, okay? If you know me in real life, you know that I sometimes spiral, I have bouts of depression, I am going through it, I got rejected from a job that I had been working for literally 2.5 years, I have had multiple friendship endings, and life has just smacked me across the face, okay? And there has been a lot of experiences that have definitely needed a lot of healing. But that's one of the biggest things that I want to share to you guys first off, is that you do not need to be perfect to manifest. You do not need to be completely healed in order to attract blessings into your life. There are millions of people living with their dream bodies, their dream partners, their dream finances, but yet there's many other areas of their life that they are struggling in, that they have not healed, that they have not faced. And I wanted to just say that off the bat, because I think that there is this notion in manifestation that you always need to be at this high vibration and always be acting perfect as if nothing is ever wrong or bothering you, and that's just not realistic. That's just not attainable, okay? So this video is definitely going to be a little bit of a different energy than I think my usual videos, because typically I am screaming and running around my room, but that energy is still here. I just wanted it to be a little bit softer and a little bit more approachable for the people that are genuinely struggling right now. So let's begin. One of the first things that I want to talk about in regards to actually healing and manifesting is detachment. Now, detachment is a very common concept in manifestation and personal development and about everything, because your attachment to certain experiences can literally control your entire state of being if you let it. But what type of detachment am I specifically talking about here? I am not talking about the type of detachment where you are just stone cold, nothing is bothering you, you are literally the definition of apathy. That's not healthy. That's not attainable. That is not sustainable. That is not what we want to strive for, okay? Your goal should not be to just not care. That is not healthy, and you are not going to actually be that happy if you are living a life where you literally are just blatantly being like, oh, I don't care about anything, everything's fine, blah 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 blah. Like, that's just really sad. Like, I want to care, I want to love deeply, I want to live my life to the best that I can, and I want to have beautiful, amazing experiences that I remember for 5 to 30 years from now. And I'm not going to get that if I'm walking around being like, I don't care about anything, bye bitches, see y'all in the next life. Like, come on. So how do we detach? Well, obviously it depends on what it is, but you need to figure out what it is that you are wanting. Now, let's say that you are attached to finding a romantic partner. Okay, this was me, ding, 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 3-4 months ago. The rebound phase was strong for me. The key is figuring out what it is specifically that you are desiring externally, and being able to figure out the exact core belief that you think that this experience will give you in your life, and be able to give that to yourself. Infuse whatever that is into your own life, okay? For me, with romantic experiences and partners, I realized that I was actually just missing the novelty, the love, the feeling of being seen, and the feeling of being chosen. And so what did I do? I chose myself. I took myself out on adventures, on all the romantic experiences I wanted to share with my partner, on everything that I was desiring to do so badly with someone else. I did them with me. Better yet, I have amazing friends that I could also do those things with anyways. Yes, sometimes I was missing the fact of being like, oh, like, but it would be really nice to cuddle with someone right now, or oh, it would be amazing to be able to look under the stars with, you know, my partner and be like, oh my God, my future cut, like, I don't know. But when you actually figure out what that is that you are desiring, because it wasn't just the feeling of, oh, I want to cuddle with this person, or oh, I want to look at them under the stars. It was actually, oh, I want to be seen, I want to be held, I want to be cared for. And there's a million other ways that you can get these experiences and feelings. There's massage for if you are missing your body and physical touch. You also have your friends. Just genuinely ask them, can we hug? Can we literally cuddle? Like, some people might think that that's weird, and you know, I definitely have certain friends that I was like, no, But detachment comes from figuring out exactly what it is that this experience that you are yearning for, that you are constantly wanting and desiring gives you, and figuring out how to give that to yourself first, okay? Because once you give it to yourself, you realize that this experience, while it is beautiful and amazing, you can still live your life now. You don't need to wait until you have this experience to be happy, in order to be healed, in order to move on, and in order to live the life that you want to live. You have everything inside of you right now to feel exactly how you want to feel and feel exactly how this desire would make you feel. Bouncing off of the romance chapter, I wanted to kind of bring up what is called the pie chart of life. I love this concept because it really allows you to zoom out and look at your entire life and reflect on every single aspect of it. But basically, the pie chart of life is about like, I think the most common has about 8 little areas, 8 little slices. I'll put one up on screen right now for you guys right now. And it basically just talks about all the different areas of your life that you can focus on and that have different, I would say, levels of happiness, of satisfaction in them. So one of my favorite things to do is to look at this pie chart of life and look around these areas and be like, okay, where am I genuinely happy with? What am I confident in? Where am I content with? And then where am I struggling? Where am I lacking? Where am I kind of feeling a little bit depressed and sad when I look at this little area, okay? I think so many times we only focus on one area. We only focus on romance, on relationships, on our job, on our career, or even on our physical health and our body. But there's 8 other beautiful areas that we can be grateful for, that we can look at and see, wow, we are doing so well in these areas. Wow, we have so much progress. Or even if you don't, it at least allows you to start focusing and pouring so much of your attention onto somewhere else. Because as I said with detachment, if you are so attached to romance and the idea of having and finding your perfect partner right now that you can't even go out without being like, oh my God, where are they? Start focusing on something else in that category that you also want to improve, that you can pour your heart and soul into. That lights that fire underneath you, that gives you that passion and hope for the future. Now, one of the, I think, biggest concepts that I really had to embody recently, that I think is really, really hard, but is honestly one of the most crucial things when it comes to healing, moving on, and moving past whatever happened in your previous experiences, is learning forgiveness. Now, I think something that I want to preach to you guys here today is that you do need to just be intentional and embody forgiveness. You need to forgive your ex that broke up with you. Forgive the people that rejected you. Forgive the person that flipped you off in traffic. Forgive your parents for whatever they have done to you. Forgive yourself for what you did to yourself in your past. A lot of times when we are currently processing these negative experiences, when we are still in pain, it is hard to forgive. And I'm not going to say just wipe that pain off and be like, all right, yeah, forgive them as if it didn't happen, because that's not realistic and that's not healthy either. You do need to process it and you do need to let those emotions out. But once you get to the point where you are kind of content with it, where you are okay, having that neutral medium energy, it is then time to forgive. And the reason that I am preaching this is because when you forgive, you open your energy to allow new love and new experiences into your life. You cannot manifest a new lover in your life if you're still held up on the old one. You cannot manifest new friends when you are still pissed off and grieving over the old friendship breakup. You have to be able to forgive these past experiences so that the new experiences are no longer affected. Because if you are still rung up on your ex, you don't want to enter a new relationship, because the new person that you are going to be dating does not deserve you constantly crying and wallowing in the corner and projecting those feelings of abandonment and sadness onto your new partner. So you need to learn forgiveness and intentionally forgive. Sit there in the moment and say, you know what? I think you did me so wrong. I did not deserve that in my past. I feel like the way that you treated me was so disrespectful, and I cannot believe that I ever even allowed that into my life, but I forgive you. I forgive you for the experiences that we had in our past, because there was a point where I loved you. There was a point where we had great experiences and beautiful memories. And I forgive you for the experiences that we had, okay? I'm not gonna preach here and say that it's easy, but I will say along the path of healing, forgiveness has definitely been one of the most powerful and impactful, actionable steps that I could take that did genuinely make me feel better. That did make me feel like I'm moving forward and actually healing from these past experiences. Next is going to be self-worth, because I know that 95% of society could definitely use a little refresher on this concept. When it comes to your self-worth, you need to understand that you do not tolerate anything lower than your standards in your life, okay? I do not have fights. I do not argue. I do not even come close to disrespecting any of my friends, any of my family members, anyone, okay? And when people try to engage with that in me, it takes two to tango, y'all, and I walk away. I literally sit there and I say, do not raise your voice at me, do not disrespect me, or do not try to come after me like that. And I said, when you are ready to have a civil conversation, I am happy to talk. I am happy to communicate about these problems, but then I walk away, okay? You tolerate what you believe you deserve. If you feel like you are worthy and deserving of being yelled at and screamed at and disrespected at, then yeah, you're gonna play with it and you're gonna sit there and entertain the idea of that. But if you know that you are worthy of respect, worthy of being taken seriously, worthy of just healthy communication, then you are going to look at the people that try to engage in that with you, and you are going laugh in their face, okay? Because it is embarrassing, first off, and it is very immature, second off, and it is honestly just really low and toxic vibration. I feel like some people said, oh, it's healthy to fight, it's healthy to argue, and I literally looked at them and I was like, what? Like, sure, it is healthy to communicate your boundaries. It is healthy to say how you feel. It is healthy to express your emotions after you have thought about them and processed them. It is not healthy to argue, to yell at someone, to attack someone and be like, oh, you did this and I can't believe that, blah, 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 blah. Like, no. No. And a lot of people do not have people like this in their life that have that perspective, but I am here to tell you guys that you can live a life that doesn't have to have and surround yourself with that energy, okay? And yes, it is hard, especially with certain people that you might live with, especially if you are not completely in control of your circumstances. Yeah, I know a lot of my audience is still in high school, and if you are living with toxic parents, honestly, at that point, the best that you can do is just hope to communicate. If they won't listen, then you just remove yourself from the situation, okay? You try to avoid them at all costs if you can, and while it sucks and it's really damaging, the fact that you even have to do that, it is the reality at times, and your peace and your energy are more important than engaging in these toxic, stupid feuds with people that don't even understand why you're trying to have and maintain your peace. Another thing is that I will not accept anything below my standards. Now, this especially is very impactful, I would say, in dating and romance, because a lot of people, I think, settle for less, and they get into relationships that they are not actually very happy with, that they are not actually content with, and then later down the line, they're miserable and they're not even that happy. Same thing with jobs. People accept and get into jobs that they are not actually very happy with because they are desperate at that time, but then after that desperation passes and they're at the point of stability, they still stay there. And you're like, okay, babe, like this was supposed to be a transitioning job, like why are we still here? I will not let myself stay in bad situations. I cut things off so damn fast, literally like tags on my damn clothing. I do not care because my peace is not a game. My happiness is not just some concept that is foreign to me that is floating off in the distance. No, like I genuinely will not play around with these things because for me, my happiness is my top priority. I am my top priority, okay? I love everyone else around me and I do the best and I'm the most compassionate, empathetic person that I feel like I can be. But at the end of the day, my peace is the most important thing for me, okay? And you guys have to operate like that. You cannot put yourself in negative experiences and in bad circumstances that you know you are not actually happy in, that you know do not actually serve you in your highest good. If you know that you are in a bad situation, it is going to end anyways eventually. You are not just going to stay there. Oh my God. Hello. So it is better to sometimes rip off the band-aid and leave than to sit there and wallow and then ruin your life and wonder why you're so depressed and then eventually have to face the same feeling anyways. God, this video is heavy. Can we like all take a collective deep breath here? Like for a second, like let's just like, anyways. I watch YouTubers that do that a lot and I literally love when they just remind everyone to take a deep breath. Because it just reminds people to just kind of, I don't know, not take everything so seriously, just to be in the moment and live your best life, okay? Going off of cutting things off and letting them go, you have to have open energy in order to manifest. This is also why I said forgiveness is a very big thing, and why also I will not stay in negative circumstances, because how can you manifest a new relationship if you are still hanging around with your ex? How are you going to manifest a new job when you are still spending your full-time 9 to 5 hours at this job that you hate? How are you going to manifest new friends if you are still hanging around the friend group that you don't actually like, that doesn't actually fit with you, okay? Sometimes we have to remove ourselves from these situations for new energy to be able to flow in. And then bouncing on top of that, I also really wanted to talk about the fact that everything is always improving. If you look at yourself in your past, from say 5 years ago, your life should always be getting better. You are always learning more, you are always developing your skills in your craft, you are always meeting new people and having new experiences, you are always becoming more aligned, you are finding and figuring out yourself more and your character, and you are loving more intentionally as time goes on. I feel like that concept gives hope for the future because whenever something leaves, I know that something even better is about to come into my life. Whenever I have friends that leave, even when I got broken up with, I stood there and it was sad and I was crying and I missed that person for probably months on end. But after I look back at it now and I'm just smile because the hope for the future, knowing that it's only going to get better from here, makes me so happy. It makes me so grateful just to be alive. I can't even, if my ex was that amazing, was that great, then I cannot literally imagine how perfect and beautiful and amazing my new partner is going to be. You have to look at things like that because when you set the intention that you are only accepting the same or better from what you previously had, your life literally can only improve. Now, when it comes to healing and being intentional, one of the things that I think we need to talk about more as a society that we just simply don't is that we need to be more intentional and mindful of how we are talking to to ourselves, okay? Throughout our day, we all have that little voice in the back of our mind that likes to spurt out little thoughts. We have like the happy, the positive angel, and then we have like the devil, the demon, like on the side of our shoulders. You decide which one you are going to give more power to at the end of the day. Yes, you are always going to have thoughts come in that say negative things, but you are also going to have thoughts that come in that say positive, amazing, and grateful things, okay? You decide which ones you are going to identify and associate with. Just because you have the thought that comes up saying you're ugly, you're stupid, no one likes you, you're not deserving of anything, doesn't mean that you actually need to identify with it. Doesn't mean that you actually need to run with it into the wind. You can take a moment, breathe, look at that thought like a cloud, and watch it float away in the distance, okay? Along with that, you need to become an observer rather than a reactor. Realize what is in your immediate control and realize what isn't. Focus on what is in your little circle of the things that you can control, which is typically how you react to certain experiences, mind you, and choose to focus on that. Do not waste your energy on things outside of you that you have no control over. The things that are happening in this world that you genuinely have no say in, that you do not have a single ounce of impact on, do not waste another second trying to constantly pour your energy into it, because you are wasting your life force, you are wasting your time, and you are wasting the limited amount of energy that we have every single day on something that is not actually even benefiting and serving your life. I'm gonna put up a little chart right here that I really resonated with, and it actually talks about all the things that you can control and all the things that you can't. And if you are focusing on things outside of the bubble of things that you cannot control, then it is not really a question at this point why you are sad, why you are depressed, why you are anxious, because you have to get to the point where you are detaching, going back to what we talked about originally, and you take that power back and you stop focusing on all these things outside of your immediate control, okay? All right, now, I'm gonna hold y'all's hand when I say this, because I think I'm going to be calling out 95% of y'all right now. However, we need to stop avoiding our pain. We need to stop avoiding whatever's going up on here that we don't want to face, okay? One of the reasons that I think I move really quickly through life, and because I feel like I am actually pretty happy on a normal basis, is because I process everything immediately. I do not wait and compartmentalize and have a horrid traumatic experience happen and then walk away and be like, oh, I'll deal with that in like 3 months from now. I face and cry out everything the minute that it happens, because I know the effect that holding on stuck emotion, stagnant emotion has on yourself. In fact, even in my last video, I talked about how there was an entire week that I was kind of going through it, and the only reason was because I was having stagnant emotion. I had a really depressing experience happen in my life with an ex-friend and a job, and I was holding on to it, and I wasn't actually processing and grieving it because I was avoiding the thought about it. But then the minute that I sat down and journaled with myself, I figured out, wow, okay, all I'm journaling about is this experience with this friend and this job, and I was like, oh my god, okay. And then I literally put on my sad music and I cried for 30 minutes because I let that shit out. Crying also reduces cortisol, which is your anxiety chemical and hormone in your body. You need to detox your body and release the old energy, the old stagnation, so that the new energy can come in, so that you can have newer, more positive and beautiful experiences. If you wake up in your day and you have nothing immediately to be sad about, you wake up, and this was the experience that I was having, and you all of a sudden look around your room and you're like, oh, life is pretty good, and then all of a sudden it smacks you like a wave and you're like, oh my god, wait, like I'm actually really depressed. I don't want to do anything. Life sucks. I feel like everyone is literally out to get me. I have no motivation. I feel like, what is even the purpose of being alive right now? That is a sign of stagnant emotion in your body, okay, babe? And there's a million ways to detox and cleanse this out of yourself, but the best one is to just cry. Put on your sad playlist. Put on a playlist that just makes you wallow, okay? And just sit there and let these tears out and intentionally think to yourself that you are releasing the stuck emotion, releasing the depressing experiences from your past so that you can move forward. After you have processed these emotions and after you have let them all out and detoxed yourself from them, you can then take your power back. You can then say, I am the creator of my reality. This no longer has power over me. I take my power back from it. And then you move forward and then you live your best life, okay? Lastly is that I need you to believe in a future version of yourself where you are genuinely happy, where you are genuinely healed, where you have moved on and you are living your best life. The version of yourself that wakes up and is so grateful to just be alive. The version of yourself that is chasing their goals relentlessly. The version of yourself that has a fire lit under them that makes them so happy, so inspired, so motivated, ready to take on the day every single day. The person that spreads love and positivity wherever they go, where when you walk into a room, people smile and get happy just because of your presence being there. The version of yourself that is genuinely blissful and is living their best life. That version of you exists. There is a version of you out there in this universe that is living that life. You have to believe in that version. You have to believe that that exists, and then you can step into them slowly but surely. It's not going to be this immediate jump. It's not, as sad as many people are going to hear, it's not an immediate fix. It's not going to immediately change overnight. It's been taking me 3 to 5 years to even get to where I'm at today compared to where I used to be. However, it does work. Put yourself on that path, believe in a bigger, bolder future, and you will eventually get there, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this one. I honestly love making this one. It was definitely very different from the usual content that I make, but I think that this is a message that I really just wanted to share, and I really hope helped you guys out. So anyways though, guys, I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of your day and an even better life, and I honestly hope that you guys just enjoyed this video. So thank you very much. Now guys, I will see y'all on the next one. I hope that you live literally your best life, attract all your manifestations. Y'all are blessed. Y'all are living your best lives, okay? This video helped y'all manifest, as all those other people say. So anyways, I hope that y'all have an amazing one, okay?